Episode 3, Hebrews 4:9. The eternal Sabbath rest still remains. Hebrews 4:9 is a verse that pierces through centuries of confusion and tradition. One verse, one Greek word, one undeniable truth. There remaineth therefore a rest to the people of God. Hebrews 4:9 KJV. But this verse loses its full power in English translation. The word rest here is not the common Greek word anaposis, which means general rest or relief. It is Sabbatismos, Strong's G4520, a very specific word that literally means a keeping of the Sabbath. What does that mean for Christians today? It means the Sabbath wasn't just a part of the Old Testament law or a Jewish tradition. According to the book of Hebrews, one of the most doctrinally rich and spiritually mature books in the New Testament, the seventh-day Sabbath remains binding for the people of God. The word remaineth implies continuation. It shows that nothing has been abolished. The Sabbath rest has not been done away with, replaced, or fulfilled in such a way that it no longer applies. It still stands. Why does this matter? Because many Christians have been taught that the Sabbath was nailed to the cross, that it was part of the Mosaic law and no longer applies under the new covenant. But Hebrews was written long after Christ's resurrection, and the author speaks to New Testament believers, followers of Jesus, about a Sabbatismos that still remains. If the Sabbath had ended at the cross, Hebrews 4:9 would say the opposite. It would say, there no longer remains a Sabbath keeping. But it doesn't. The Holy Spirit inspired the writer to declare that Sabbath observance remains for the people of God. This is not a mystical or symbolic rest. The context of Hebrews 4 makes it clear. God is pointing back to his rest at creation and calling believers to enter that same rhythm of rest and worship. Verses 4 and 10 both refer to God's rest on the seventh day. There is no ambiguity. This is the same seventh day that God blessed and sanctified in Genesis 2:2-3 and commanded in Exodus 2:8-11. In verse 10 we read, For he that is entered into his rest, he also hath ceased from his own works, as God did from his. This isn't about resting from sin or stopping your own efforts to be saved. It's talking about resting as God rested on the seventh day. It is a call to imitate God's divine pattern. Just as God worked 6 days and rested one, so too his people are called to follow his example. The Sabbath is not a burden. It is a sign of God's relationship with his people. In Exodus 31:13, God says, Verily my Sabbaths ye shall keep, for it is a sign between me and you throughout your generations, that ye may know that I am the Lord that doth sanctify you. The Sabbath is God's seal upon his people. It is the one commandment that begins with the word remember, and it's the one commandment most Christians have forgotten. But God hasn't changed. His word hasn't changed, and Hebrews 4:9 declares with authority that his Sabbath hasn't changed either. Sabbatismos is God's reminder to a forgetful world. It's the cry of the Creator to his creation. Come back. Come rest. Come worship on my holy day. And for those who dismiss this verse, claiming Christ fulfilled the Sabbath, remember, fulfillment never meant cancellation. Jesus fulfilled the sacrificial laws by becoming the sacrifice. But the Sabbath was not a shadow of Christ. It was a gift from God before sin even entered the world. So when Hebrews 4:9 says the Sabbath remains, it is not just a theological footnote. It is a divine alarm ringing across the ages. Will you heed the call?